Hey folks, Jackdaw here. Romance is back and better than ever in Dragon's Dogma 2, now offering a larger and more dynamic experience compared to the original. In this overview, I'm going to break down everything about finding love amidst the Arisen's quest. From the characters you can romance to the new jealousy system, special items that boost NPC affinity to the max, romantic sex scenes and more. For the uninitiated, what sets Dragon's Dogma apart in the romance department is its unique approach. You see, unlike many other games and fantasy RPGs with romance as a large feature, in Dragon's Dogma, nearly all named NPCs can potentially have a romantic relationship with the player. This means that you can pretty much explore romances with basically anybody in the world, making every NPC stand out and be more exciting and reactive, despite some past confusion about how it all worked, at least in the original. And that's exactly why I'm here, to shed light on the romance system in Dragon's Dogma 2 before we accidentally end up with that one annoying merchant as our love interest in the final moments of the game, instead of that beautiful townswoman we all intended to court. So let's take it all away. DD2's game director Itsuno spilled the beans on DD2's romance system in an exclusive interview with IGN Japan at the Tokyo Game Show. And it's here where Itsuno confirmed the return of the romance system, singling out Ulrika, a human female closely linked to the main character, as a potential, quote, heroine candidate for the Arisen. Furthermore, Itsuno hinted at the potential for a romantic storyline with Ulrika and suggested how the system might play out for other characters. And responding to IGN's questions in this article about the relationship dynamics with Ulrika, Itsuno explained Ulrika's crucial role in the narrative, being there when the player transforms into the Arisen and caring for them after the dragon attack. Itsuno highlighted that the player has full control over their relationship with Ulrika as it develops. He drew a parallel to the first game's character Quenya, emphasizing the varied interactions players had with Quenya. Some were deeply engaged with her, while others were less involved. Producer Hirabayashi chimed in, emphasizing that the player's choices actively shape the narrative. He mentioned heroic and heroine-like characters will appear, but their involvement is entirely up to the player's choice. He then clarified that heroines are not set in stone, and depending on the player's decisions. By heroic and heroine-like characters, the producer is referring to your Arisen's potential beloved, and in this context he does then say Ulrika may become a heroine, or she may end up not being a heroine. And thus, this all sets a standard for the new romance system. It's all about your choices, kind of how it's always been anyway. But when it comes to who you can romance in particular, well, in Dragon's Dogma, everyone's hearts are for the taking. Now, the main characters highlighted on the game's website, such as Ulrika, Brand, Durian, and Wilhelmina, promise the most captivating storylines and connections to the plot, emphasizing why you would want to romance them given their amount of content. And winning their approval is definitely going to be through quests, which is likely going to be straightforward, similar to the original, with main characters like Madeline, Celine, Quenya, etc. Having said that, don't dismiss the smaller scale NPCs that you will come across in the world. Their affections are just as available regardless of their role in the main story. So who knows, you might just fall in love with DD2's versions of Festi or Faunival. Your Arisen might just need a joke or two to keep them sane during your quest. Either way, the game's dynamics, alongside an NPC approval system, can bring unexpected surprises. So in that same breath, maybe just go with the flow, talk to as many NPCs as you like, and just see who you naturally end up with based on how many times you've talked to said NPC. Now, continuing further, in IGN's recent discussions with Itsuno, Capcom's commitment to enhancing Dragon's Dogma 2's pawn and NPC system becomes evident. Itsuno aimed for intricately detailed NPCs, creating a vast world with characters exhibiting autonomous behaviour and decision making. The improvements go beyond the previous game's player NPC affinity, where you would boost one's affinity by giving gifts or assisting with quests. Now, DD2 takes a step further with a more intricate system. NPCs can now form bonds with each other, creating forming a dynamic web of relationships. For instance, when approaching a group of friends, upsetting one of them may provoke the other's anger, while performing kind deeds for a child that may earn the approval from their parent, adding a bit more complexity to each interaction you could have. It sooner then hinted at potential NPC conflicts over the player character. For example, if an NPC sees another as a threat to your relationship with the player, tensions may escalate into a confrontation. A character who grows close to you might come over to your house to play, but if they meet another character there who's done the same thing, a fight might break out. It's sooner explained. So if you are looking to avoid any kind of conflicting outcomes, try not to date too many people at the same time, otherwise it sounds like a fight might just break out. Now, speaking of the improvements made to the romance system and now having NPCs being able to make bonds with themselves, you do have the ability to control your NPC relationships and ensure that you end up with a specific love interest in Dragon's Dogma 2. And that all comes with a nice trick up your sleeve, gifting a particular item to your beloved. Now, in the original Dragon's Dogma, players could maximize an NPC's affinity with the Arisen's bond, a unique ring given to their chosen NPC that they would like to solidify as a romance option for the end game. The only caveat that came with this ring was if you already had multiple NPCs with maxed affinity, whoever you spoke with most recently before the final mission would then end up being your chosen love interest. While the return of the Arisen's bond in DD2 is uncertain, there's certainly a good chance it will make a comeback, and in some regard it already has, because the deluxe digital edition of the game includes various bonus items, and one of them seems like it serves a very similar purpose to the Arisen's bond, and that is the heartfelt pendant. On the Xbox store described as a thoughtful gift, this pendant, when offered, deepens the bond between the giver and the receiver, literally mirroring the exact functionality of the Arisen's bond. So if you want to avoid the grind to increase an NPC's affinity, or you don't want to wait for a confirmation of the Arisen's bond or quest away, while I would never want to advocate for pre-ordering a video game before reviews come out, you might want to consider pre-ordering the digital deluxe edition to secure the heartfelt pendant as a promising alternative just in case. And lastly, we have the latest ESRB rating for Dragon's Dogma, which addresses the game's sexual themes. According to a report from Push Square, Dragon's Dogma 2's listing highlights instances of sexual content, clarifying that while not excessively explicit, DD2 has received the sexual themes tag due to interactions with sex workers. The mature rating details players' characters can interact with sex workers, exchanging currency for services. It mentions a brief scene where the player is shown on a bed with a prostitute, both in underwear, before the screen fades to black. And another cutscene briefly depicts characters kissing and rolling around in bed without nudity. Now, both of these cutscenes confirm the introduction of sex scenes, a feature not present in the previous game. And it's still unclear whether the last cutscene refers to the Arisen and their love interest, or if they are exclusively related to interactions with sex workers. We're just gonna have to find that out for yourself, but yes, sex scenes are confirmed for DD2. Now, in conclusion, love and relationships are developing further in Dragon's Dogma 2, promising a richer and more intricate experience compared to its predecessor. I think I've pretty much decided at this point that I'm gonna be romancing Ulrika, unless Wilhelmina somehow steals my heart when I meet her in the game. But no, I am 99% sure I'm all for Ulrika. Let me know down below if any of the main characters on the website have grabbed your interest so far, if there's anybody in particular you're excited to get to know about more and potentially start a relationship with, or if you're all secretly hoping for Festi 2.0 or another Faunival merchant to come along and probably steal your heart in the last minutes of the game. But of course, Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming out March 22nd. We are very much in the thick of it as the launch is so close away. So until the next one, I have of course been Jackdaw, and I should go. Whoa.